gamers, and welcome to episode 454 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for May 4th, 2024. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Not much, man. We had some, man, we got really hot, man, this week, and had some nice, yeah, we had some nice weather, but now we're back to being cool again, which is funny. This is kind of the weather we had last Saturday before we were talking about how it's going to get hot.
Came full circle.
Yeah, because I was like, oh my God, I was like, no, I wasn't ready for this. You didn't get me ready. It's like, you didn't like just go up a little bit in temperature. You say, we don't give you 90.
Yeah.
You're going to go
literally
gradually
here's
down.
25 degrees hotter.
And then it's going to go gradually down to the 80, like at high 80s. And then finally they went to be bearable for me. But
high 60s.
Yeah.
That's what.
yeah, exactly. So let's get right into it. So in sports, my O's are looking great, man. They even though they did lose the series against the Athletics, that was disappointing. But they did beat the Yankees 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah.
So, and they are at the top of the American League East, and they're record-wise, I don't know. I gotta see. I think they're close to being like one of the 2 top teams in the American League. I mean, it's still early though, but it just shows that like they're starting off great. Like they haven't changed since last year. I mean, they still are still kicking it, man. And I'm like, good, man. This is. See, it feels so weird to watch a winning team that my favorite teams is winning. You know, it's just a weird feeling. Like not only that they're winning, but they're favored.
Yeah.
This time they're favored, and I'm like, wow. So this is what it feels like to be those teams. Yeah, you know, those other teams that just be like, hey, they're going to be good or something like that. Man, I just never really had that feeling with none of my teams. Like never. Damn, that's just it's such a weird feeling. But anyway, what else? Well, I always had the feeling of like I did have a feeling like when the Washington was favored, I had that, and going in the season, like, oh yeah, man, we're gonna be great. Yeah. But it'd be disappointment because they're not missing the playoffs, and it's like, what the hell happened? All right, so anything else to really talk about? I already talked about the draft last week. I mean, what little information I know about the draft, and it's still that same information. So I didn't learn anything else new. I didn't really care to. Basketball playoffs is going on. I think everybody's in the second round now. I don't know. Maybe Dallas. Yeah, I think Dallas is still in the first round. I think they still have a game, but it's mostly. But there are some second round games about to start soon, so they're kind of moving on. The big one is the Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. I am praying to Jesus that the Timberwolves win. I need them to win this series because I am in big trouble if the Nuggets go on to if they go to the finals. I'm in big trouble. All right. So I will lose my legs probably. I'll probably take my legs.
And making bets with the wrong man, huh, Dominic?
Yeah, no, they didn't even say the thumbs or something like that. They said, I'll take your legs. I said, oh, well, I said, well, you know what? I'm kind of happy because I'm like, I need to play my game. So, you know what? You can take my legs. I can still play with my hands. So, well, I didn't tell them that because I think that's what they would change.
Yeah.
They change it.
You don't want to let them know.
Yeah, I didn't tell them I have a podcast either, so they're not listening.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so, all right. So, what else? What else is there? Nah, there's not really else to talk about, really, in sports. I mean, nothing that I care to talk about. Put it like that. That's what's called half-ass sports. So, what's going on in wrestling?
Not too much. The Backlash pay-per-view in France is actually happening as we record this podcast for WWE. So I've got that going on. Trying not to be distracted by that. But really, that's kind of what it is. It's after Mania season now. AEW's between pay-per-views right now. So it's relatively calm, especially since I'm not getting as much of a chance to watch the weekly product as much as I was for a while there. So, you know, mostly just catching up on Reddit clips and stuff like that. So yeah, nothing really to talk about.
All right. So I guess we get to what we've been watching. So you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can kick it off. I watched, I think 2.5 or so episodes of the new Conan O'Brien show on Max. Conan O'Brien Must Go. It's basically him doing his travel skits, but in long form. I think they're like 30 to 40 minutes. I can't remember, to be honest with you, exactly.
Is Triumph in there?
I have not seen Triumph yet, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's very much Conan. Like if you're looking for some Conan style comedy, he's got some Conan style comedy for you. You know, dressing in silly outfits, saying silly things to strangers. It's quite humorous, but it's not breaking any sort of ground or anything like that. But it's kind of cool seeing him, back on television since he doesn't have a show anymore. He just does his podcast, which I do not listen to. I think there was a while there where I listened to a couple episodes and it wasn't something that necessarily grabbed me to keep listening to it. But, yeah, it's Conan. And then I've been watching some Yellow Jackets on Paramount, cause it's that originally aired on Showtime, and some of that content is on the Paramount Plus. And I had heard good things about this show. So far, I'm 2 episodes in, and kind of the premise is this like high school soccer team is going to the Nationals and their plane crashes. And it seems like they're going to be stuck out in the wilderness for quite a while trying to survive. And it kind of cuts between that and then the women from the team later in their lives, in kind of the almost present day, basically. I think I've seen 2021 and 2023. So timelines around there. So, and the high school era was like 1996. So kind of dealing with, the women that have clearly, survived, because some of them just immediately died in a plane crash because it's a plane crash. And then them dealing with whatever may have happened out there. The first episode, there's this reporter woman that comes along and talks to the woman that seems like she's going to be kind of the main character, who we see the show through mostly. And said, basically says, like, we know what happened out there, maybe you should tell your story before other people tell theirs. So it sounds like some, excuse me.
Blush.
So it sounds like some nefarious stuff may have happened, out there. And at the end of the first episode, you do see some of the things that, kind of may go on. So, yeah, I wonder how they make a full season out of it, what happens there, if it ends up focusing more on the previous timeline or the more modern day timeline and the consequences, or if there's kind of just, a even split between the two. It feels like so far that's kind of where the direction they're going with it. Christina Ricci is in it. I haven't seen her in a while. So that was, my favorite from the Casper movie, Dominic. She's back.
Yeah, I like Christina Ricci. I mean, I always think of Anna's Family first.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I had to think of the most absurd thing I could think of, Dominic. All right.
The Casper movie wasn't absurd. No. I mean, well, not for me.
Not
we were
at
kids.
That age, yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's absurd for me to remember the Casper movie at this age, Dominic. But yeah, that's really what I've been watching. I think I talked through last week kind of everything that I had finished off up till then, and I think it's mostly just been Conan and that I was watching. And then I was like, oh yeah, I have Paramount, I should see if this show's on there because people have been talking about it, and I saw that it was, so I just kind of midweek pivoted to watching that, and that's what I've been watching. So what have you been watching this week, Dominic?
All right, so I finally watched No Time to Die, the latest James Bond movie and the last movie for Daniel Craig, and it was really good. It was, I mean, well, Okay, I take that back. It was good. It was good. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best James Bond. Like the best one for me, I guess, is between Skyfall and Casino. Whatever you want, because I mean, I enjoy both of them pretty much, probably the same. And then this one, I'll say this will at least be third. But yeah, so he's done what?
5?
6 or 5? 5,
because
right?
I can
5?
think of
Yeah,
2
5.
others in addition to those.
Because Quantum Solace and the Spectre.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's another one. There isn't another one. So yeah, Quantum of Solace is probably the last one. I think that's one everybody probably agree is the bottom of them. That's just some weirdo, one of those weirdos probably say that's the best one or something like that.
I don't remember much about Spectre, to be honest with you. So like, I almost feel like I would maybe.
Well, I've seen that recently.
Oh, okay.
I've seen that recently. So that was the first time I ever seen it. Spectre. It was like last year, or either earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year.
I was gonna say, I feel like it wasn't that long ago we talked about that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I know Spectre. And Spectre it was average. It had some good action. It had good action, but the story wise, it was okay. I just felt like it could have been better. But Skyfall, I think Skyfall as a story was better. Yeah. I think than all of them. No Time to Die. I mean, it went some places. I mean, I don't want to spoil it because because based on the previews, I didn't see some of the stuff that happened in this movie, so I was like, oh, so they were good with the previews, but not really spoiling some story. But yeah, the action was pretty good, man. It was a good last. I mean, I say it's a decent last movie for them, and they can start something new now. Now they can make that woman 007, and well, that was the thing. Because the thing is that the first news you really heard about No Time to Die was like, there's a black 007. And I just remember seeing people just
losing their
upset, and like people saying, why are they doing it?
Why would they do this? Ian Fleming was a racist. He would not approve
blah,
of this.
Blah, blah. But then I heard that Dan Craig was in it, and I was like, so what are people talking about? Yeah. Dan Craig is in it. Still in it. And why are they so angry? And then, yeah, well, I mean, this ain't much spoilery, cause based on the end, he kind of leaves. He leaves and whatever, and be with that woman, and that she took his place basically, but that I think that was a surprise is that she kept 007. They kept 007. So you thought they was going to retire the number or something like that. He said, and he was just like, it's just a number. It's just a number. He's like, yeah, but you could tell inside, he's like, son of a bitch. Is that he went on? But no, I liked her. She was pretty good. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. If they do it, which I doubt they will. If they do make her a 007 or anything, or just another woman, I wouldn't mind, honestly, yo. I mean, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably say like, oh, but I'm not a big 007 fan. But even though I just wouldn't care. I mean, I understand. I mean, I know why certain people feel that way, saying like, oh, they're just trying to appease, like just the liberals or whatever, like they, or people, they're just trying to appease everybody, like just having a woman, be there or whatever. But I mean, it's an action movie, I don't know. I mean, I guess you will miss the whole. I guess the only thing you will miss is because you're used to James Bond being with like a beautiful woman all the time.
Sure.
So now she's the woman. So she's gonna be probably with a handsome man all the time, ain't it? I mean, if that's what they go with, and I guess men don't feel like that. They don't like. I guess heterosexual men don't like that, and they will miss that. I guess that point from view. Or she could go with beautiful woman. I mean, if they put her as a lesbian.
Also, I'm pretty sure she's a beautiful woman. So, like, what's their deal?
Well, I don't know, Daniel. No. You white people have feelings towards black people. So sometimes I like them, and then sometimes you don't. I mean, I'll be sick based on the internet, Daniel. Yeah,
the internet.
Yeah, they don't.
Sometimes they love
they
to hate
don't
them.
feel.
Sometimes they hate to love them.
Yeah, they love to hate them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's just crazy to me that like anytime there's any level of like diversity, it's like, oh my god, you're appeasing somebody. It's like, but isn't that just like the way things
yeah, they're appeasing
happen?
you, right? With the other way.
I mean,
Isn't the other way just appeasing you too?
well, that's the thing,
Like
is
just
like just keeping it the same. Like nothing stays the same. So like, why can't there be any sort of evolution in, you know, who this character is or becomes, or like, it's just, it's so creatively bankrupt, I feel like, for everyone to be like, well, it should just be this way. There's only this single way. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you're just trying to appease everybody.
Yeah, and or you just have to make a new thing. You have to make whole new franchise. Which, I mean, I don't mind. Yeah, I do. I don't mind being creative.
I don't mind that either.
New.
But apparently, movie studios do. So, like,
yeah.
If I can't just stop making James Bond movies, then like maybe make the character of James Bond or 007, if you will, like maybe find ways to make it more interesting. And hey,
because this could be an interesting way to go. Yeah.
Also, make him American. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. So yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it overall. Also, I finished the series Shogun. This was pretty good, man. I really liked it. And it was an ending that you wouldn't expect if you don't know the story of Shogun, like you didn't read the book or even watch the original series from back in I think it was the early 80s or late 70s. If you just don't know this or the story, maybe you just don't know the story because some of those characters are real. Mm-hmm. They're based on real life characters. Like you will be a little shocked of the ending. Like I was surprised how it ended, but it ended in a way that I thought was interesting. That it wasn't bad to me. It was like I liked it. And yeah, the characters were pretty good, man. And this is one of those movies where I didn't mind reading the subtitles of the like the people speaking in Japanese. I actually enjoyed it that way because it's just because the story was good that I didn't mind it. Like it's something like how Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was. Like when I was little, I hated it. You know, it's like, oh man, dang, I gotta look at it. But then the movie was good, so I was like, oh, okay, I just have to deal with it. But it didn't really hindrance me not liking the movie, and the way they did this, it was done very well. Like the production value and everything with this, it was done really well, and yeah, man, I really like this. I really enjoyed the day with this movie, the show. It's not a series; it's a mini series. It's not a series that unless they choose to do something different. 'Cause I think maybe there was. I don't know if there was more than one book. There probably was. But I just don't see like it being a sequel. Really, like this seemed like this is it. This would be the story.
That's what I've heard. Is it sounds like it's kind of done because I don't know if there is more than one book or if this whole season is based on, you know, like a complete series, but it seems like the end of this season ends where either the book or the series of books ends.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it seems like the way they ended. So I like because the put like this, the actual Toranaga, the actual guy who becomes a shogun, like that's basically the last one. He's the last shogun of the Japanese agent. He's kind of the one that kind of helped starts to bring Japan into what almost like it's modern age, basically. Like from then on. Well, from then on till the World War II, like all that time between that time, like how it moved on and how it became the power it was at the time. But then of course World War II happened, and then there was another change. But yeah, so yeah, man. I think it's a series worth watching, like checking it out. It's pretty good, and yeah, man. yeah, it's like man, it's like wow. So this is probably one of my favorite new series. I mean, it's a mini series though. So like now I'm done that. Now I have to find something else to really like. Which Fallout is going to be it. I mean, that's so. I mean, I already like the first episode, so hopefully the rest of them stays that quality. As from I hear from you, watched it and my dad had watched it. It sounds like it's pretty good. So, yeah, I'll probably be watching that. Anything else? I mean, I watched a little bit more of the Power, the season 2 of Power.
Still
and
as good as you were saying it was.
Yeah, still as good as I'm saying it was. Yeah, yes, it is. That has not changed. I'm just, dude, I'm just liking, like, it's funny how certain situations where, like, oh no, like, I guess you're supposed to be rooting for these people, so you're like, oh no, they might get caught, or oh no, she knows that the person she's been dating is actually is actually Ghost. Like, she knows him as his real name. I forgot, Jamie, something like that. But she works for the FBI, and she's actually looking for Ghosts. And she told somebody else, and now I'm at the point where she finds out that the person she was with is Ghost now. And she's trying to get proof now she's trying to get proof that he is Ghost so she can know that it's true, because that's what somebody told her. But,
so as an audience member, did you know the entire time?
Yes. Okay. You know who Ghost is. You know who Ghost is. I mean, that Ghost is the main character.
Gotcha.
So,
right. Okay. So that's the relationship you were describing on the last episode, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Like he's cheating with his wife with this woman, and then his wife finds out she's still cheating on her, even though he says he's gonna leave her, still cheating with her, and now she finally just kicked him out. And it's a lot of this drama stuff, man, that I feel like, goddamn, this is like a soap opera shit. And it's a lot of love stuff. Like the drama I want is the criminal stuff, and it's like it's the all the love stuff,
yeah,
the
soap
sex
opera
stuff. That's really that's the real drama, and that's not what I care about. So like, and the people, like I said, the people I'm rooting for, I actually root for them to get caught. So I'm like, when things look like they fucked up, it's like, yes. There you go. Say I hope something happens where they they get screwed over.
Yeah.
So I'm watching more as like a comedy, man. Like, this is
rooting for their downfall.
Yeah, I really am. Like, because I'm like, y'all don't deserve to be where y'all at. Y'all don't deserve to have this. And you know what? And here's the thing, Daniel. It's called Power, but I never get that sense. I never get the sense of how powerful he is. They make it like, oh man, this man, he owns a lot of stuff, but I never feel that watching this show with him. I mean, I feel like, yeah, he made a lot of money and stuff, but I don't feel nothing about him having any kind of power or anybody.
Persuasion over anybody, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the most person with power I can feel is the guy who bought the club from him, from out under him. Like, he kind of works for the guy now, because I think he has an investment in the club, and it's this white dude, probably him, but it's more of an annoyance, because I don't care about the club. So I was like, I don't care about the dude loses a club. I don't fuck the club. It's like I don't like. I just don't care about the club. I was like, I want the drugs and the guns and stuff like that, man. That's what I want. But yeah, it's what I don't know. Yeah, it's not a good, to me. It's not a good show. I mean, I feel like I can see how people can find some enjoyment in it, though. I get it. I understand, because at the end of the day, I mean, I've learned that most people like bad things. And that's why we get the stuff we get on TV and movies. That's why we get it. That's why Super Mario is going to get a sequel that's going to probably be worse than even the original one, or it might be better. It might I'll say I'm going to say it's better, because I think the one was really bad, but for that story is just so horrible. I don't know how people. Nobody can tell you about the story. They just say it looks like Mario. It looks good. That's how they say how good a movie is, and that's why I know you can just put shit out there as long as it looks good or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And as long as there's a lot of sex and good-looking people in there,
please.
You could get away with it. And put a little drama in there too. Like, they put some like little soap opera drama. You get some people to like it too. So see, like, this has a little mix. It has some of the gangster stuff. So the fellas can be like,
I can feel confident in watching.
I like that. And then you got all that drama stuff the women really care about in that nature. And you got a little almost I'm gonna call Romeo and Juliet. I don't know, just the whole thing of like you loving somebody that's not your wife and ever, and then she loving you even though you're a bad boy. It's like, come on, man. I said, good God, this like I just want to throw up every time they do that. I fast forward. Daniel. I never do this. I never fast forward through sex scenes. I do it now because it does nothing for the story. I was like, this is like, it's one thing. Like, it's one thing you see because you keep seeing the same people. Like I told you, most of the time. And there's like a music video. They have like music going on and blah blah blah. I was like, come on, man. I was like, we can move on. But that's the thing. But they feel like, hey, we're on Stars, and sex sells. Yep. We gotta show some titties. We gotta show some ass, and we got like people want to see. But I'm like, no. Who wants to see the same titties and ass all the time though?
Right.
I'm like, that's not the thing. And then I don't like when it goes too long, man, because it does nothing. I was like, you can watch. We got porn now. We don't need this. So you can do like them kissing and stuff, and maybe show something, and then move on. Yeah. Next scene, we got it. They're gonna make love or whatever. Okay, we get it. God darn. It's like it's really just stuck in there just because. I'm sorry, like it's like they really just put it in there to say they can do it. Those scenes. So yeah, it's a bad show to me. It's a bad show. Anybody who likes it, you have horrible taste. You have horrible taste. Sorry, I was joking, man. I don't care. You like what you like, but I think it's horrible. All right. So I guess we get to what we were playing. So you didn't play nothing.
Nah, nothing.
So you did not do your job as a podcaster. So okay. So I played. So I was playing some more. Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, but then I was like, I'm gonna play that original one. I'm gonna try that out. Well, I say original, but it's not an original one. The one that came out first, Ayuden Chronicle Rising, which now I find out is about to leave soon, on the 16th. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to rush through this game. So like I'm playing through it now. Now this is different from Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes because this is it's a side-scrolling action RPG. So you have a character, and you can switch characters and do like these link like combo attacks and stuff like that. I'm still in I won't call it early stages, but I'm a little bit past the early stages, but just still getting some new stuff happening because I just got one new character. I'm sure I'm going to get probably another character in the game, but you are some like a scavenger, treasure hunter, or whatever, and you are trying to find these lenses. Lenses are these powerful artifacts and things of that nature. So you go to this town where they have like these mines where they're supposed to have found something in there, but the town is like really kind of like destroyed and beat up because I don't know. I think they had an earthquake or something that happened, and so you have to get like. So it starts you off with like you can't just go into the mines because the town sort of owns it. The mayor has to give you a license, and the license costs too much money that you don't have. So the mayor said, hey, get some stamps on this card. The stamps are if you help some of the townspeople do something or find something for them. So you kind of do these quests for the townspeople to help build up the town. So then you start building up places like, places to buy items, to buy food, to buy armor and stuff. So like as the story progresses to normalize. And then you meet some guy or some this kangaroo looking dude because they got like those kind of anamorphic animal world, so they got people they got regular humans, then they got those anamorphic humans, and he joins you and stuff. The dialogue is pretty funny between the two because you play as a 16-year-old girl and he's like basically like an older man, I guess you would say, a dingo. I don't know, maybe he's a kangaroo. I'll say a kangaroo because he does have a pouch. And like he has a magic pouch where it can go as deep as like he pulls out this huge sword from it and stuff like that. But like he gets so annoyed with you and stuff because you always and like every time somebody says they need help, you always say help. He's like, I said, what are we? Aren't we here to treasure hunt? And so it's like, why are you always helping people? And like story wise, it's great. Gameplay wise, it's pretty simple. It's not I want to call it great or anything. It's really just simple. Like I see why I got the scores. It got like around 8s or high 7s or something like that. Like it has some of that RPG. It does have the RPG element, like leveling up and things of that nature. But it's not really. So far, it's not really much there though. It's pretty simple. Like just fighting the baddies. Like you just dodge. You just hit, like keep hitting them until they die. I mean, it's not really a lot there to the combat. But story wise, I do like it. Like I like how the story and the dialogue with the people. It's pretty funny. It's pretty comical with that. And yeah, and I'm curious. And I did see like one character that's I already met from the 100 Heroes, because it just says some characters are in there. I'm just wondering how it connects. I know it's in the same world. I just wonder how it connects to that story. And since I've seen that girl who I do have in my party in the 100 Heroes one, I'm curious like what more, like how she's in this story. Like what more is she like what is her, like what's going to be her purpose in here? I mean, because it was like one little quest I did that involved her, but she's just back in town, just chilling now. I wonder if she's gonna be there some more, and then maybe you find out why she end up where she is in this one, in the new game. But yeah, I mean, it's all right. I kind of wish I would have stuck with it when I tried it the first time. Because now that it's gone, about to be leaving, I'm like, darn. So I'm gonna try to rush through this thing. Also, because I want to play a new game, like just to have something for the podcast. So, I mean, it's not really new. It's new for Xbox. Have a Nice Death, because that came out, last year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's been out on the PC, at least. Yeah, I don't... Is it on the PlayStation Network, too, last year? Or what is it? I know it's on PC.
I don't recall.
But, or the Switch or anything?
Yeah, I think it was... I think it's on Switch.
I think it's... Okay. Have a Nice Death it came... So, it's first time on Xbox. It's on Game Pass. I tried that. It is a... rogue, what is it? I think it's a rogue light, not a like.
Yeah.
Like I don't, because like rogue likes are when you become stronger as even you die, you go back, you're stronger because you kind of got stuff built up or whatever. Even though you start again, but you're stronger. A rogue light, Li. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Roguelite is like that, what I just said. A roguelike is when you die, you just start from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Like, you just, yeah.
That's
you just
like the original quote-unquote rogue game. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think this is supposed to be a roguelike.
Oh.
I think it's supposed to be, but I think somebody complained about that because it said roguelike, and they said, no, this is more of a roguelite than a like. And, because they said that you do, he said, I feel like you do become stronger as you go on. But there's some guy who said, I think I read somewhere that said it was too hard. Somebody said it's too hard. Now I haven't got it. Now I'm gonna start the beginning. Well, not the beginning. I fought the first boss, and that's where I stopped. See, and that's the thing. See, with these games, I wish to tell you how they save, because they'd be like, okay, I don't want to play anymore. Where I'm gonna start at when I quit.
Yeah.
It was like I needed to tell me, and these games will tell you that sometimes, because that's why I'd be scared to quit. Because I'm like, if I quit, I'm going to lose everything.
Yeah.
Because I just want to. I gotta stop. I don't want to keep playing. So I have no idea, because I quit. I'll just find out when I play again. Like, did it start from just the beginning of that stage I'm on, which I hope that's what it is. Like, you play as this guy Death, and I guess based on the little cartoon I was watching, and it's no voice acting. But they, like, I guess you are now corporate, like something. I guess, I don't know, your company got bought out. I don't know. You was just regular Death and just killing anybody like you normally do. Like, you know what I mean? You'll put people to death, you know, or wherever you list, whatever. But now they kind of make it where you're just at the desks now. Like, you're just
paper pusher,
doing stamps and stuff, yeah. And as time goes on, you shrink. Like, you were this regular, you know, tall Death, and then you become this short little Death guy. And then you just become so angry, and now I guess you want to take back your take back your manhood. I don't know, whatever. But you want to take I guess be Death again.
I'm like, that's what.
Yeah, I guess you be Death again. And so you have these characters and stuff that help you out and do stuff, and it's funny dialogue throughout. Like, it makes it look like it's a corporate world, basically. Like, the underworld is like a corporate world, and like you got these enemies that are almost like employees and shit that you kill, and yeah, so far it's fun. I mean, you do have you get certain moves, you unlock certain abilities as you go on. I haven't died yet in the game. I got to the point when I fought the first boss, and I killed it, and now that's where I just stopped. And yeah, it's funny dialogue throughout. Like when you talk to these other characters, that tell you things about like your new abilities or just about the world and things of that nature. And yeah, man. The look of the game, it's a black and white look to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the game, I mean, it has some color to it, but it kind of reminds me of what's the game you played that you like that's about to have a sequel?
Hollow Knight.
Yeah, the Hollow Knight, like kind of like not exactly that look, but like the basically black and white look, and yeah, man. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm enjoying it so far, and I think the reviews were they were good.
Yeah,
they weren't bad. Yeah,
yeah. I remember seeing that game and thinking it looked really cool, and then I think I was hoping it was more going to be like a Metroidvania style thing than just another roguelike light.
Yeah,
because at that point it just had been kind of oversaturated at that point.
Oh, it is, but it's going to get more saturation.
Oh yeah,
it's just going to be
absolutely. That is the go-to indie, style right now. Which at some point
exactly.
that was the platformer, so it's hard to say we need more Metroidvanias too, but
Yeah, it keeps you playing though.
Yeah,
that's
the thing is like there are so many of them, but there are only so many that get you hooked, and that's the reality of it. That's the brilliance of it. Is when you
because like for you, Spelunky got you hooked. While it didn't get me hooked, even though I like the look, but it just didn't get me hooked. But I did like that one. What's the one I played? Neon something.
Neon Abyss. Yeah,
Neon Abyss. Yeah, I like that one. I was playing that for a bit. Of course, I like Hades, but that's actually has a story in it, and it does end. Even though you keep playing, you play for a while though. I mean, you go ahead and then Vampire Survivor, man, is my favorites. Yeah. And then I played some of Dead Cells, which I'll keep saying I'm gonna go back to. I'm gonna go back to Dead Cells. Like one of these days I am. I'm gonna force my ass to go back there. Because I do want to play that again. And play it right this time instead of just having cheats and just going right through the game when I was supposed to go like that. And beat the game in within like hours instead of like days. All right, what else? I think that's it. That I played. I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I play baseball every now and then. I haven't been playing with my player recently though. I did go through one season with the woman, and she did win MVP and Cy Young and everything because I was like basically undefeated and
nice.
I got the most strikeouts in history. Of course, it's like take that, man, take that, take that, Nolan Ryan. You bastard. Yeah, and then but I'm on a sucky team. I'm on this White Sox, and they
oh jeez,
we were almost in the playoffs. And they're only in the playoffs almost, and they almost got there only because of me.
Yeah,
because I gave them like 20+ wins.
Jeez,
and and then we missed the playoffs by like one game because our team sucks. And then this year they still suck. So I just cannot wait till my 6 years is over so I can leave the fucking team. Because I'm like, or I might if they ever get to the point where like they did in the other games where they say, hey, do you want to trade? You can say yes, but it doesn't mean you get traded though because they have you for the first 6 years if they want to keep you.
Right.
And I do. Yeah, I'm like, man, y'all didn't get better. I was like, get some freaking players, man. Say I'm up here like acing it up for y'all. And then I got my first loss because. What was it? I think I just gave up one run, but they but they didn't get no runs. Yeah. So I gave up one run and they didn't get no runs for me. And then one time, dude, I pitched for 12 inning shutout. 12 inning shutout. I pitched, and then they finally took me out because I was just too tired. And then. They lost. And I was like, you sons of bitches could not get a damn run. You could have get one run. It was 0-0 for that long. Oh man, I was like, I'm breaking records here. I said, y'all just can't help me out, help a sister out. But man, but yeah, it's fun. I've been playing with franchise mode, and I'm not playing with the Orioles because I play with the Orioles every year,
Yeah.
you know, and now that they're good, it doesn't like I was playing with them. It doesn't feel right because it's like, man, we're actually good. So it's not like I'm like, oh, taking a bad team and making them good now. Like I'm so used to playing Orioles as they're supposed to be bad. So when I play with them and make them good, it feels like, yeah, look at this. Like I'm doing something that's not probable.
Yeah.
Like I'm making these players much better than what they are. I mean, even though technically I still am, but this is actually a good team. Like when I simulate games, they actually win them. So I was like, darn, I need to pick a team that is not great, like not a super great team. So I picked the White Sox, and I also picked not the Braves, the Padres. And the Padres, they have talent though. They have talent, but they're not the best of the best or anything. But I do like the Padres. I like their uniforms, and I like the players on the team. Even though one of them did take steroids, but you know what? He just got caught. That was the problem. He shouldn't have got caught. It's like most. I found out like most people that do get caught with taking steroids are the ones that are trying to get back from injury. Because they're trying to hurry up and get back on the field. Which I mean, right or wrong? Because listen, I would just say wrong. But man, these days, man, the way sports is like whatever, man. You know what I mean? It's like it's such
him
such
back
a
on the field
business
so
and
I can
stuff.
put some money down on him.
Yeah, it's such a business, man. And now gambling's such a huge part of it now, where everybody can do it. It's like, dude, you know what? The whole integrity thing, man. Just throw that shit out the door. You're not gonna. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna argue that shit no more. Like, I'm done. I say, nah, I'm done with that. If you talking about some integrity of the game or something like that, or respect the game, nah, man, it's over. Like, we just watch the game. That's what you do, man. But anyway, yeah, so I'm playing with those teams. Like the White Sox, I'm kind of just letting them play out because I'm trying to build up their farm system and like get some players to be good. So I'll put them in the next year's team. Like they suck bad. I'm just going to simulate their games. Padres, I'm playing every so now and then with their games. Right now, they are actually in first place in the division. They're pretty close with the Dodgers, though. And yeah, I just like building up people's stats. Like I'll simulate, and I might just jump into a game. Like I might play some innings. I'll jump into a game, and then just play with some players. Or I see some players are not doing so well. They haven't got a hit in a while. Say I'm going to control this player now to give him some hits to make his stats go up or something like that. So yeah, it's just fun playing God basically. Like you know playing God, you know, the team and just controlling. And I just dream like, man, I wish I really was controlling the teams like this so I can just win so much money in gambling. That's how I'll bet say like this guy's gonna hit 5 home runs.
Why do you think God's
this
so
game.
rich, Dominic?
I say he's gonna get 5 home runs this game, and that's gonna be like plus like 5,000 or 50,000 probably or something like that in gambling. Then I'm just gonna I put like $1 and just win $50,000. Or $100 or something. But yeah. So yeah, that's all I played. So I guess we'll take a quick break when we get back. We get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. So now we're flashbacking to 2014. We got a new month now, though. We are in May, so we're going to do video game covers. But I do have a couple games to mention for this first week. Basically in 20 years, though. So we skipped 2014. It wasn't really much that came out this week in 2014. But in 2004, we had Red Dead Revolver.
Man.
It's 20th anniversary of Red Dead Revolver, the one that started off the actual good Red Dead games, Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. But Red Dead Revolver, it wasn't a Rockstar game at first. It was part of like Capcom and Angel Studios, I think it was. But then Angel Studios got bought out by Rockstar. They picked them up and changed it to Rockstar San Diego. And they continue to finishing off Red Dead Revolver, which is a third-person shooter game. It's an action game dealing basically still in that universe, but wasn't as good. It got like 70 something on Metacritic.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was. Which it wasn't I wouldn't necessarily it's
That's
bad.
better
Even though
than
I think
feel like I remember those reviews being.
exactly. I was thinking like it was a horrible game. I mean, there was some magazines that gave it a bad score, like below 5 or something, but like a 5 out of 10. But some of them there were some 8s. There were a couple of 8s. There were some 7s. So it was. I think if I had played it at least back then, I think I would have probably enjoyed it. I probably would say like, hey, it's an okay game. You know, I would have thought it was an okay game. But they really just changed it up, you know, when they got to Red Dead Redemption and made it like a classic. But this is the thing. This is the start, man. There will be no Red Dead Redemption without Red Dead Revolver. So we have to say thank you to the ancestor first. You know, say thank you for being here, even though you weren't that great. But then we made it great. He said we became greater. We became greater because of you. All right, and what other game? A game that we both never heard of, and the only reason we mentioned it is because of how weird and strange it is. Nitro Family, which is a first-person shooter, kind of like a Duke Nukem thing, you know, kind of outrageous, Serious Sam or something like that, where you play as a gentleman who has a wife, and she is strapped to his back. They are looking for their kid. The kid's been stolen. So they're trying to get the kid back, and you have guns. The man has 2 guns in his hand, and the wife has a whip. So when you get close to enemies, she will automatically whip the enemies that are close to you while you shoot them down. And it's a weird concept. Graphically, I mean, it looks like those early stages, you know, first-person shooter games. But I feel like it would have been better received, or people would have been more into it if it came out actually in the 90s, you know, that kind of era.
It definitely has 2004 that vibe to it.
Yeah, it has a 90s vibe to it, but it came out in 2004 after some already great first-person shooters out there. Like, even like Call of Duty has been out now.
Call of Duty, Half-Life, like, we're talking about, like, evolved stuff, and this is very much
people,
not.
And people we're still waiting for, like, the people have already given up on Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah.
So, so like, this game, but it still is a funny premise and just a concept of, you know, having a person strapped to your back.
Yeah,
you know?
the game looks outrageous. Like, she's in like this weird like cybernetic chair / baby Bjorn thing. It's so absurd.
Yeah. But yeah, it just seems like it's something that's lost in time. You know, it was after, you know, it wasn't before its time. It was really after the time.
Very
it came
much
out
so, yeah.
after the time. Yeah. So yeah, that's 20 years old. So now, that's it as far as games. So now we're going to video game covers, and we're going to move back up to 2014, and we're going to look at Xbox magazine cover, and we got Dragon Age Inquisition on the cover. This would be the sequel to Dragon Age 2, and it was some I want to say there was a little high hopes for it, because even though people were down, they were down on Dragon Age 2. Like, people were like Dragon Age 1. Dragon Age 2 some people were down on it because it was too much action. It was too more of an action, dumbed down RPG. They feel like EA got their hands on it, and they just really said, look, we want more people to buy this game, so we want to make it so it's easier for people to really get into it. So they really took out like the really RPG elements that were in there from the first game. I mean, you can even see EA's hand in the first game with the microtransaction stuff that was happening in that game. But yeah, so Dragon Age Inquisition, though, this was like, I mean, the scope of it being like these big open worlds now that you have, you can go through. Also, the next gen, it was next gen, so it was like, yeah, man, let's see where they go from this. Let's see how good this looks. I mean, because, even though we didn't like Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect 3 was good, so it was like, hey, maybe they heard people's complaints and stuff and fixed a lot of stuff. Which I think they did. Dragon Age Inquisition, for me, and I think for probably most people overall, this was better than 2. It was better than 2. I will say that. Now, it was a better 1. That's where you get to debates, and I don't know. I think the consensus is that 1 was the best for hardcore RPGers. And Dragon Age, it was an okay game for me. Overall, I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. But it just wasn't the big. It wasn't. It doesn't feel like that big epic that I really like.
Right.
But I'm so glad it did come up before Witcher 3 because it would have got destroyed. I think it would have got so much lower scores if they did, if they came out after Witcher 3. So, what they got on here is covered, Daniel. They got Dragon Age Inquisition, Scope. Okay, my freaking bar down here will not go away. Okay, get out of here. All right, the scope on the new faces and places you'll explore in BioWare's open world RPG stunner. And they also got here the best Xbox swag, our favorite rarest gaming collectibles. Ooh. Which do you own? Dark Souls 2, our final verdict on the trip to Tough Love Hell. And they have up here with Gears of War Next, a new studio for a next gen debut. Oh yeah, because there's no more Epic.
Was that the Coalition then? I guess.
Well, I think they were called Black Tusk at the time. I don't think they changed the name yet.
I forgot that. I went through that.
Yeah. And then Trials Fusion, the Xbox Live Arcade at Blockbuster is back. And you got 15 new review games. Then you got up here, you got Titanfall, the biggest game of 2014 score. They finally gave it a score. And Elder Scrolls, and it says some words right there. And there's probably something else right there too, but it's hidden in a way. Then they got Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Hands-on with the reboot of a classic.
Heck yeah.
All right, so now where are we going to? Edge Magazine, and we got the Xbox up here. And they spelling out help. As it says, can Microsoft turn things around for Xbox One? And this is like when Xbox was like really in trouble. I mean, it was looking like Xbox was in trouble because of like the sales and compared to the PlayStation 4 and the complaints about it.
How'd this make you feel when you were, leading up to thinking about buying an Xbox, Dominic?
I was concerned because I still didn't have an Xbox yet.
Yeah. It wasn't until this Christmas time-ish, right?
Yeah, because of Halo. It wasn't this. That year's Christmas was I got one because of the Halo game. Because for both systems, I didn't see a game I wanted for either one. That's what really was keeping me from getting those new systems. And Xbox, I mean, they had Titanfall, but the thing is, those games, Titanfall, Plants vs. Zombies, they were also on the Xbox 360. Yep. And I got them on Xbox 360. So I was good. I was like, it's not going to look as good, but I'm still having fun. I'm still playing these games. So I had no really dog in the fight. Like, I wasn't no Xbox fan or anything. I was still waiting to see, like, hey, whoever comes with the biggest game first, I'm going to get. But my friends, and they didn't get to do systems yet either. They but they were still probably more so on Xbox. But me, I was kind of waiting to see. Like, if they would have got Xbox before I did, I probably would have just said, I'm definitely getting an Xbox, regardless, no matter what. Which I did end up getting it, and then they ended up getting it. So it all worked out. But yeah, it was. I was curious about that. I was like, man, Microsoft's really going. But I was really hopeful too. I was thinking like they're gonna get back on track. I said they're gonna get some games that's they're gonna come out, and I ain't saying they're gonna get the lead, but it's gonna be the sales are gonna be all right. And then see, and here's the thing, because I am, I don't know what the word I want to get for. But since I only care about America, I'm xenophobic, I guess. I don't know. So I was joking. But since I only care about, but truthfully, I usually only care about the American sales because they always go by the worldwide sales and say, "Oh, it's not selling Europe in them." And I said, "I don't care about playing with them anyway." And I was like, "Is it selling here?" And I saw the sales here were all right. So I was like, "Oh." I mean, I had to go look for that, but I was like, "Okay, so it's not horrible." I was like, as long as I got people to play with online here, I'm good.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good. And that was the thing. And see, and that's what I really was, is like, I'm not a guy who's like, I'm loyal to this company's level. Cause like, I used to be a PlayStation guy, but then when 360 came out and PlayStation was $600, I was like, nah, I'm going 360 now. Like I just switched. Yeah, I was like, you know what? That thing was too expensive. I don't care if I'm a fan. I mean, I was a fan because at the end of the day, I just like games. At the end of the day, you like games. And with Xbox, even though Xbox One was not selling as well as PlayStation 4, I didn't care who was first or whatever. I just wanted the Xbox at the time had the games I wanted.
Yeah.
It had the Halo collection. I'm sorry, that was the thing, because I was like, oh, all the fucking Halo games, and they all run at 60 frames per second, and they are like all HD'd up,
and their online's supposed to work.
Yeah, well, the online was supposed to work, and it didn't work that well. But then again, I was getting my ass kicked anyway, so I was like, okay, I don't care. But yeah, so that was the thing that made it so that, hey, I was gonna go Xbox, and I didn't care if it was not many people have it compared to PlayStation, because it didn't matter. The friends I knew had it, and it wasn't going out of business. So I was like, there you go. All right, so what they say here, Project Morpheus, how Sony is joining the virtual reality revolution.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the making of Super Mario 3D World. And what else I got here? Reviews, Titanfall, Infamous Second Son, Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes, Towerfall, Ascension, and Banished. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's a nice cover though. I do like that's pretty good.
It's clever, yeah. I mean,
even though
Edge always
it's
has
anti-American.
A good style,
it's an anti-American though, Daniel. I think they're definitely showing that. That's
still mad about the revolution.
All right, so here we are. Game Informer, baby. Look at this. Fortnite.
Yeah.
This is Fortnite before we know it's Fortnite today. This is Fortnite when it was just Save the World, basically. You was just supposed to be a 4-player co-op game. And you supposed to be like guarding against zombies, like building up forts to stop the zombies, kill them and stuff like that. And I was really excited for this because I was like, I haven't gotten no Left 4 Dead in a while, and I like co-op games, so I was like, hey, yeah, let's go for Fortnite. And then it started just being in early access and stuff, and that at this time, I didn't understand early access. I just thought like, oh, unfinished game. I'm not supposed to do that.
They wanted to pay
never to buy
pay
something
for, and then there was the promise that when it fully released, it was going to be free. So there were a lot of things to deter from, getting invested in that game early.
Yeah, exactly. And like early access, I was still under the impression like you're not supposed to buy anything that's unfinished, like that. You're not like not purposely supposed to do that. Now it turns out like they fooled you. Then it's like, yeah, I'll be angry. So I just didn't understand the concept. Yeah. I didn't understand. So I was like, but yeah, now Fortnite is totally changed. I mean, it says right here, ringing in a new era, all at Epic Games, which it did. It totally did. Yeah, I mean, for reasons unknown at this time, though.
Yes.
not for
thanks
the known
to the
reasons.
release of PUBG,
Yeah, exactly. PUBG helped to create that. Oh, I blame them. Oh, I blame PUBG for that. But yeah, I mean, darn, man, when Fortnite just became the meta that it is now.
When we're all living inside of Fortnite, Dominic, and our physical bodies are just in some kind of pod powering the world that runs Fortnite, I mean, we're all going to look back in our history books and think about PUBG.
Yep. It's like, oh yeah, that was that game that helped start it all. So it looks so boring and bland.
I can't beat Goku in that game.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that is it for 2014, and now we have 2000. We're going back 20 years. 2004, Nintendo Power. What we got on the front here? Metal Gear Solid. Twin Snakes is on the front here.
Oh yeah.
We got Solid Snake in the front, then you got Liquid in the back with this nice blonde hair, flowing. And he was like, I know.
He had a mullet before mullets came back, Dominic.
Yeah, he did, definitely. All right. Before at that time, it was just on lesbians. But now they back and other people have them. All right. Also, what? Ogre Encore, Shrek 2. Yeah, 10 years ago, Shrek 2 was coming to theaters, man. That's crazy. I said 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Damn. That means the first one's even older. God damn, man, we're getting old. And I still remember going to see Shrek 1 in theaters.
Man.
Oh, my God. All right. What they got over here? Custom Robo?
Yeah, it was like a robot fighting game. I think it's published by Nintendo. I can't remember if it was developed internally or not.
Oh, so that's why. Is that like Donkey Kong in there? And is that like a Bowser gun or something?
You know what? It does kind of look like that, doesn't it? It's hard to see, but
Let me go.
yeah,
Let's
the
do
color
the super
schemes.
zoom. Yeah, I do the zoom. Oh, okay. I don't know about being Donkey Kong, but
I don't know. It looks like a poor man's Optimus Primal, Dominic. I think you're right.
Yeah, it really
It does
when I
say
zoom
information Metal Ape, so yeah.
Oh, so it is, man. Yeah, okay. All right. I also got here Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban. Oh, look at that. This must be like the Game Boy Advance one or something.
Yeah.
Or the is the Game Boy Advance or the DS is not out yet, right?
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, Game Boy
think
Advance.
so.
Yeah, Game Boy Advance. Yeah. Was this good, Daniel? Was this a good game?
Fantastic.
I mean, it looks nice.
Surprisingly good, yeah.
Yeah, but it probably didn't play good. All right. And we got here MVP Baseball 2004. That is the EA Sports one, which I'm hoping they come back again. All right. So also James Bond, Pokemon, Worm, CT Special Forces 2. CT, what's that, Daniel?
I don't know. I was gonna make a CT joke, and then I felt like might be distasteful.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Leaving the heart of cards, people.
Of
and
You
Scooby-Doo.
didn't say that right,
Jack
Dominic. Try that again.
More. What?
Scooby-Doo!
Scooby-Doo. Oh, okay.
It's got an exclamation point, too. You can't just do it for Yu-Gi-Oh! And then not do it for Scooby-Doo, Dominic.
And then you got Spotlight on Capcom. Oh, yeah, this is all the other Capcom. Yeah, this is, when Capcom is having all those games. Resident Evil 4, Killer 7.
Although I like how they tried to sneak Mega Man X Command mission in there. Like, that's one of them.
Yeah.
That wasn't one of them. Get out of here.
Yeah, that wasn't one of the big, like, new Capcom things.
That was like Phoenix Rising, and then there were like two that didn't actually end up coming out. So
on Virtual Joe, Beautiful Joe.
Oh, yeah. God, we need Beautiful Joe back, Dominic.
Yeah, we said that, man. We said that. Wait a minute. No, it was a Beautiful Joe. It was what was it we were talking about? They should do again, and then I saw it on the Nintendo Direct, and it's like, oh no, they heard us. The Mickey, Epic Mickey.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Darn, man, they need to hear the Beautiful Joe one too. All right, so where we at here? PSM magazine. This is the unofficial PlayStation magazine, but it is the 100% independent PlayStation 2 magazine and the best-selling one, as it says right here. And we have Def Jam 2 on the front here. We got Method Man and Red Man on the front. You got Snoop Doggy Dogg right here. Snoop Dogg into his house, as it says right here.
Or Crow, if you will.
It's so funny. Snoop Dogg is still the same.
Yeah.
20 years later. He has not changed. That man is almost 60 and he has not changed. He has grandchildren. All right, so what do we have here? World exclusive weapons, no rings. Oh yeah, so it wasn't no wrestling no more.
No, it wasn't
Street
wrestling
fighting
anymore.
It's online too and uncensored.
Yeah, I don't know. Carmen Electra in there, Dominic. It's uncensored.
I ain't seen no titties in there. There's uncensored, probably cursing. Boo. So, all right. Plus, Metal Gear Solid 3. Also, new features explained by the creator Kojima himself. And then you have Sony's secret weapon, in some words that's missing. Then Devil May Cry, plus Metroid, plus Castlevania equals God of War. Look at that.
Man.
That's the secret weapon. Yep. And God of War. Man, that game was awesome. And yes, I was a big Devil May Cry fan. So when people got seeing how God of War was, I was like, let's see how this game is. I got it. I've actually bought it, and oh my god, I was like, wow, this is better. I was telling my friend, like, this is definitely better than Devil May Cry, man.
Yeah,
this is better than that. Oh, look over here, Ratchet & Clank 3, Jack 3, their first look. And up here you got Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, the first amazing details about the game. I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto, Daniel. And the next Grand Theft Auto probably won't come to 2026, not even 2025. Probably be pushed back most likely. Gran Turismo 4, the real driving simulator, shocking new twist reveal. What was the shocking new twist? Online?
I don't know.
No, I don't think. Oh, that's gotta be something. But PSP, why it's delayed and what's changing? That I know. Yeah, that's the old version of PSP up here. Yeah, I'm seeing like look at the controls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that definitely changed.
They realized they needed
PSP.
an actual D-pad instead of making it some weird like flat phone style thing.
All right, so now we're going to the official PlayStation magazine. You notice it doesn't say best selling, and it's the official one.
Best-selling official magazine is what they should say.
Yeah, the official U.S. PlayStation magazine. And what we got here, Killzone on the front.
Yeah.
The game that will change PlayStation shooters forever. Its first look, the Halo killer. Look at him.
Notice how they didn't say that.
What are they called? The Hellgeist?
Yeah, the
Something
Hellgeist.
Like oh. Yeah. I played that game. I remember I think I borrowed. Did I borrow it or buy it? I'm not sure. But if I did buy it, I must have sold it back because I definitely know I don't have it anymore. But it was not fun. I didn't have fun with it, honestly. Yeah, I played through the whole game. I beat it, and I was like, nah, this ain't no Halo killer.
Yeah.
And graphically, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was green. I remember being green. There was a lot of green. I remember that. Like how Gears of War, people say brown.
Yeah.
This was green. All right.
But not like fresh, vibrant green, right? Like a throw up green. It's like a muted green.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the Matrix kind of green.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize that.
But not in like a good way, like an artistic way how Matrix does it.
Of course not.
But here we go. Playable PS2 demos they got up here. We could play some. Oh no, just a cool video. See to get you.
Oh, there
people like me who can't read. It says cool video from Gran Turismo 4. All you see is demos. You see Gran Turismo 4, and then you'd be like, yes, and then you go get it, and then you'd be so disappointed. PlayStation people and the games that will rock your world. Exposed.
Is it Guitar Hero?
Okay. Guess you see some of them naked. Revealed. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Rockstar's latest, gets a name at last. Oh, so this is where we first get the name. Okay.
That's wild.
And explained. Metal Gear Solid 3, Kojima explains what's going on.
Man, Kojima's just giving interviews to everybody.
Yeah, see, you get even more confused, Daniel. Yeah. Well, he's supposed to get an interview with them because it was only on their system at the time. It was only on PlayStation.
Sure, but it's doing it with them. He's doing it with the unofficial magazine. He's just slutting around town is what I'm saying.
Yeah. You gotta whore yourself out, man, and make some money, man. That's how it works.
Maybe if he was working instead of doing interviews, then Konami would have kept him around. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So now we're going to GI, Game Informer, and we got, look at here, world exclusive Halo 2.
Yeah.
Bam. 10 pages of multiplayer details. I mean, this was really what kicked off console multiplayer. This is the game. I mean, what they did with Halo 2 and what, like in the multiplayer section of the game is just amazing. Like it was people just loved it. I mean, this was huge. Of course I never got to play it because I didn't have online with my Xbox. And plus I got Halo 2 late anyway. But even then I didn't have online, even though that was still, but I did get to play it, but I got the Xbox 360 because they still allow people to play that game because that game was still so popular. It was still probably the best game, online game for consoles. Until Halo 3 came out. And hell, I remember, I forgot what year was it when they finally turned off the service because they had like 2 people still playing for the longest time. But yeah, Halo 2, man, this was great. This is what you always usually get like this is when they started doing like the multiplayer stuff first and then they show off the story of the game. But yeah, it was interesting. This game. I remember having this magazine also. Also, they had the first screens, Metro Prime 2 on page 83. So you got to turn it there to see that. And then you got 4 pages of the new Mortal Kombat Deception. Then you got GameCube bound Paper Mario 2. What did it end up being called? Was it called Paper Mario 2?
No. I'm trying to think, because there's Thousand Year Door, and then
was what it called?
Yeah.
Was that what
no?
it
That was
changed
the
to?
first one. First one was Thousand Year Door. Second one is, or no? Yeah, no. That's Paper Year. That's Thousand Year Door, because it was Paper Mario, and then in 2004, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and then Super Paper Mario.
Okay. Yep. So Thousand Year Door. So that's the one. And I really never played any of them.
Yep.
I do.
That's the
And
one
I
we're
do
getting
want
this
to.
year.
Oh yeah. Damn. Even though technically they could have just did what they did with the Mario games when they put all 3 of them together and just put.
Oh, don't ask him to do that, Dominic. It might be even worse. I don't know. Because they just did no work for those games whatsoever. That was the disappointing thing about that collection.
Yeah,
It's
but
they
at least
didn't
they have 2
modernize
games.
Control. They didn't do anything.
I just want to pay $60, Daniel.
I understand.
If
And
I'm gonna pay
because of that,
$60,
they'll make you pay
more than
$70.
Well, what's their excuse with that one? Because I understand their excuse for. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I understand it, but I know why they did the excuse for Zelda.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for 2004. So now I'm gonna go back 30 years. We got one for Nintendo Power 30 years ago, 1994. Super Metroids on the front here. Massive action, bigger boobs, and it says also new Super Game Boy, all full screen color action. Okay, so Super Game Boy hasn't come out yet, so it's just kind of new. All right.
I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing.
It was.
Yeah, I thought that was yeah. You know, my sister, because my sister, she had a godmother. I don't know if she's still alive, the godmother. I mean, I don't hear her talk about it anymore. I mean, she's an adult now.
Mm-hmm.
But she had a godmother who would just give her anything, and she had all the systems, yo, and almost all the stuff that comes with them.
Yeah.
And she had a Sega Genesis with the 32X CD and the Sega CD.
Nice.
She had the the Super Nintendo with the Super Game Boy with it, and I used to be so jealous of that, and then I used to go to my mom and dad and say, "Well, I don't have a godparent, something like that. Why I ain't had no friends to make them godparents so I can have get everything I wanted." Made me angry. All right, did you have a godparent, Daniel?
No.
Yeah, you didn't either.
Didn't have a godparent. I've got one of my mom's friends who's I call aunt, basically, but never. I don't know. Is it like a more religious thing? Is that maybe why I didn't?
I have no idea where the God stuff come from. You know what? It's so funny how I say God like this is the godmother, godfather. I never think of the God part, honestly.
Yeah. I only thought about that because the only reason that concept is even in my mind is because my wife's family, all of them have godparents, and it's a more religious family.
That's understandable. Yes. All right, so that is it for the flashback segment, and when we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. I think we kind of jinxed things by saying that, most of the layoffs have to be over because most of the major companies have done their thing. And
you did. You did it.
I did it. Apparently, Take-Two said, nah. So they have closed Roll7, the developer behind Roller Drome, and also Intercept Games, who were the developers on Kerbal Space Program 2. So that one seems kind of crazy to me, considering how successful Kerbal Space Program 1 was.
Yeah, that is very, I'm very surprised.
Yeah, and along with that, they essentially gutted what it sounds like. They gutted the Private Division, their label for their indie publishing, which has been pretty big as of late, I feel like. So it's really wild the cuts we're seeing here. I hope all these people can find work either elsewhere or can start their own studios. And, with the talent, I would imagine, behind like an indie publishing division, maybe they can start their own, spun out publishing arm that they can kind of pick up some small games and roll into a bigger thing. I don't know. It seems so crazy, like how stripped down we are getting in the games industry now. Like this is the danger of the consolidation that we see, right? Because,
Yep.
What happens when, you're down to 4 big companies and all of those 4 big companies then, fire hundreds of thousands of people at one time? Like, what is there for them to do outside of maybe then create their own thing? And, I'm sure somebody will tell you like, oh, that's the way the capitalist system is supposed to work. You achieve that goal, but then, there are people that can always come up from underneath and usurp you. And it's like, if that were true, that's nice. But the reality is like, it's unlikely for any company to ever come along and challenge the size and scope of a Sony or Microsoft when they're at their peak.
Well, it's like, I think in the beginning of capitalism, or I think people was looking at it in a very small view. They didn't see it as these companies being as big as they are now.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't see it as like a Walmart or like an Amazon or something where you're not competing.
No.
Like, it's impossible. It's impossible for you to compete unless they shut themselves down. There's no way you can get to where they are to compete with them, because of how much they own, and how much like this capital they have, and how much like they just control and can buy. It's like,
yeah.
And like now, like we just got these companies just shutting down. It's not like, oh yeah, I mean, it happens capitalism, but it's supposed to be thing of capitalism. Somebody replaces somebody.
Right.
It doesn't just be like people just start losing it. It's less companies. It's not like you're not supposed. I mean, you don't want it like that. You don't want anything like, if someone loses business, something comes up because something was better and replace it or something. But we're not getting replacements.
No,
we're just losing. We're just consolidating until like it's just
until you only have one option, and then it's essentially a monopoly. That's my fear when we talked about, Xbox going away. It's like, I don't really care about Microsoft being in the game space, but who is there to compete with Sony at that point? And you can say Nintendo, but Nintendo is its own thing completely. You could argue that Nintendo is already a monopoly because there's no one really competing with Nintendo for what they do. But, it's at the end of the day, we're going to lump them all together as video
like the
games.
type of games we see Nintendo do, like those type of really family friendly, colorful games. The first party games of Sony and Microsoft, they don't do that.
No,
they tried. Well, Microsoft tried.
Yeah,
but Sony did do that.
Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter.
I mean, Ratchet and Clank is the only one, and that's like the only one they do.
Yep,
now
it's the only one that survived. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that bothers me about that kind of stuff in the consolidation. And the same can be said for Disney owning basically everything. What do you do when, they're in control of everyone's destiny? And, you can always come up with your own product and do it yourself. And it's like,
I know, people, yeah, those assholes. It's like, it's such worthless when I feel like when they speak, because it's like,
Dominic, I'm starting my own comic imprint right now, and 5 years from now I'm gonna usurp DC, and then 10 years from now I'm gonna usurp Marvel and Disney, because I got the superior product. So there.
Like I say, y'all can just do your own. That's why I find it funny when it when a person of some other race, like it's a black person saying like, I wish it was a black people that said, well, you can make your own game. No, we can't, because y'all fucked us over for that. Yeah. You fucked us over with that. We can't possibly do that.
No, you can
make money.
Succeed as an indie, sure. You can have a one game hit like, Stardew Valley guy or what have you, but like that guy, as successful as he is not competing with any of these companies.
No.
You know, that's so laughable. You know, he can't.
And look at
he
how many
doesn't have
games
the
has he done.
hiring power. He doesn't have any of that.
Yeah. Like, look how many games he can make. I mean, because it's just one. It's one
Yeah.
dude. Or in some of these cases, that's just one dude. But it's just they're small, so they can't. They can't put out. I mean, I don't need to put out all the time because Stardew Valley, you know, it's a game you could play forever, and then they keep updating.
Yeah.
But he does want to do the more games, and he is working on games and.
And I would
games,
imagine with the money he's made, he's got more people helping him now. But even then, you know, it doesn't necessitate like a good programmer, artist, video game maker does also not necessitate being a good business person. So like, even if you were to say like, okay, well, we'll take the top 10 indie creators, gather them together, they'll create a mega studio or whatever. And then they can, you know, control the destiny of these, you know, these people. And, you know, we can work our way up to take over these companies. And it's like, no, that's you're not looking at reality here. Like, what are we even talking about? I mean, it's almost like, you know, when you see those things about like, oh, the CEO of this company makes this much and the lowest paid worker at this company makes this much. And it's literally like hundreds of thousands of times less. It's like, why is that necessary that this company or this person makes infinitely more than another? You know, it's just wild. You know, it's not that they created the superior product and that's why they're now at the top of the hill. You know, it's about power and who they know and what they've been able to, you know, utilize to achieve that. And it's like, there's so many factors. And some of it is even luck. So like, fuck off, basically.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So it is luck.
That's why a government that actually is willing to take interest in these sectors and regulate them with knowledge. You know, I'm not asking for these like senators who go into the TikTok and are like, well, one, they call it the TikTok and then say, oh, well, you're run by China or whatever. Like, no, obviously they have no idea what they're talking about. They're like, how do I get my son's account unbanned or something like that? You know, like I want those people to then hire people that are actually knowledgeable about a thing.
Well, that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. That's basically what I'm saying is I want them to do their jobs.
Yeah, do their job, basically. Because I understand, like, people in, like, government office, they're not going to know everything.
No.
They're supposed to have people to help them, you know, to get the information and learn. But it just seems like they don't get that either. Yeah. Because I'm thinking, like, yeah, I get, like, this old Fugi not going to understand some of this technology stuff, but goddamn, you should have somebody young on your team.
Yeah.
That understands this, or at least know to where to find the information easily to get to understand it. It's like, what the hell?
Yes. What did Dianne Feinstein know about crypto? Like, what are we talking about here? Come on. She was born before paper money existed.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, what's his name? I can't get his name. What's the guy who's just, I think he's about to step down now.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell, yeah. Like, this dude he had slaves. The man had a plantation.
Yeah, like how could anyone expect them to know anything? And I don't, but I do expect them to know about one thing, and that should have been what they got elected on, and then the other things they should be able to, you know, get people who are knowledgeable about it, and then take that information and make knowledgeable opinions about them to dictate policy. But that's just not what's happening.
All right. So, what we got next, man?
All right. Next up, Dominic. I think we talked last week about how Microsoft is going to have a showcase on June 9th. But it has also been announced that there's going to be a redacted showcase or direct following that presentation. Everybody's speculating I don't even know if it's speculation. I think technically it's just known, but it's going to be Call of Duty. It sounds like that game is going to be made by Treyarch, who I guess is like the main studio on Call of Duty now, following like the dissolvement of Infinity Ward, right? Like, didn't they go away entirely? Or did they just become like a lower branch because all the like head guys
I thought they
left?
Well, if they did, I don't remember. I remember they came in lower branch though.
Okay.
I remember that.
I think maybe that's what it is. Like Treyarch stepped up, and then because they did Black Ops, right? And they were like, okay, this is where the series is going because like Zampella left and went to EA and it's making Titanfall and all that stuff. But it's going to be set during the Gulf War. That is the rumor. I guess that's kind of the only thing that we haven't really like exhaustively covered at this point.
No, when I was young, because I didn't know where the Gulf War really was. I didn't know where it was. I thought it was in the
Texas,
the Gulf of Mexico.
I think at one point in my life, I also thought the same thing. Man, it's so close.
I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, man, they really messing up the cities down there. That was the only golf I knew.
Exactly. Hashtag not my golf.
Yeah, because I remember the map, and I remember they saying, "Oh, that's the Gulf of Mexico right here." Yeah. I was thinking like, "Oh shit, they find wars down there." So
I always knew Texas was tough, Dominic.
I was like, hope the Disney World don't get infected.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you do with Call of Duty anymore? Like, what can you do that would be different or interesting? Like, they've done it all at this point. They've
done it all. They went to space.
Did Vietnam?
People don't like that. Even though I did.
Yeah, they did space. They did Vietnam. Like, those are the two, like, at one point untouched things. And I guess the Gulf War, to an extent, is that. But, like, what are we talking about?
You gotta go to the Revolutionary War or the the Civil War.
That's just not fun gameplay wise, though, Dominic. We're talking like powder shot guns and whatnot. That's not.
Well, just make it that is you had a
future
special
weapons.
Gun. Yeah,
because I mean, like, think about it. Like, think about a video game based on like Mel Gibson's The Patriot. Like, that movie's pretty cool, or at least back in the day, I thought it was pretty cool. Like throwing hatchets and stuff like that. Being this like kind of stealthy ghost guy in the Revolution, and I think part of me hoped that that's what Assassin's Creed was going to be, and didn't really end up being that. But yeah, like I could see that being cool, but I mean, are you sacrificing too much historical accuracy to make the gameplay fun?
See, that's the thing, yeah, because the gameplay Call of Duty is about it's a shooting element, it's not about some type of it's not first person adventure.
No.
So yeah, I mean you just keep doing the same thing. I mean, you just do it. I mean, people. But
what if we put Goku wars in it, Dominic? Then we'd be.
No, talking. I mean, you just do different story wars. Yeah. I mean, I don't have to be. It don't have to be a historical war. It could just be.
Could we do a time travel thing where we just take future guns and take them back to the Revolution? Are we at a point where Call of Duty could do that and be taken, quote unquote, seriously?
We're not supposed. I ain't think it ever was. I mean, not ever. I thought that changed. Like, as it used to. Yeah,
did that change? I mean, I guess they have zombies now. Like, what am I talking about?
Yeah, I think that changed. I think, yeah, why not? Just do that. Do a time travel thing. Or just make it like a new world. Just a new world. I mean, you have some guns, but it's just different.
Call of Duty Avatar.
Like just somewhere here, and you're just fighting these things. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, I don't. It doesn't need to be.
When they were in space, did they fight aliens, or was it just like other people in space?
It was other people.
Oh, okay,
it was other people.
So we could do aliens. Yeah, I don't envy them. I gotta say, like, I do not envy them. I have no idea what they could actually do to make that industry or make that series more relevant than it currently is. And I'm sure like people would be like, what are you talking about? Warzone is like the second most popular game ever behind Fortnite, but I don't know if that's actually the case or not. It seems like it might be. Like Apex Legends is definitely not that anymore, right? Like Apex Legends had like a month where it was number 2 behind Fortnite, and then it feels like ever since then has never been as relevant as it was then. So I guess in the realm of Battleground-esque games, Call of Duty is definitely right up there. And I feel like Battleground-esque games are probably the top genre, right now, outside of maybe like some weird mobile game where it's like, yeah, Bejeweled is still being played by millions of trillions of people every day. So, yeah. All right, Dominic. Speaking of extremely popular games and shooting aliens, Helldivers is falling into some hot water. Helldivers 2 is, of course, available on the PlayStation and the PC, and a lot of people are hoping that Sony will at some point release it on an Xbox. I don't know how likely that is, but there have been rumors that there are talks. I feel like everything is talked about, though.
It really is.
I'm sure like there are discussions that happen in rooms that we are not a part of. That even the wildest things, like we've talked about it here. Following the leaked documents, like Microsoft has talked about buying Nintendo, and sure, Nintendo laughed them out of the room or whatever, but like that was a talk that happened. But the reality of the situation is that Sony has deemed it necessary for players of Helldivers 2 on the PC to log into PlayStation Network. And beginning May 30th, current players will have to log in. And currently, starting, I think, this last Monday, any new players have to log in. If they want to start playing Helldivers 2, they have to log into a PSN Network ID. I can see some benefits to that, where there's some like cross compatibility that maybe is not as easily done directly through the game. I don't know. But when you're kind of locking these games, especially multiplayer games, especially ones that are as popular as Helldivers 2 is right now, behind these kind of like walled gardens that you've created, you're only asking for backlash, especially, when you didn't do this at launch. And it sounds like there are reasons why they didn't do it at launch. And I wonder if the real reasons are that the developer did not want to do that, and Sony very much did. And, the developer was like, well, let us get a fan base built up first, give this game a chance before you kind of sabotage it. I wonder if that's the reality of it, because everything that I'm reading is basically like, this was the Sony decision. It wasn't a decision by the developers of Helldivers. So yeah, it seems like such a self-sabotage thing at this point for a game that has had pretty much universally positive buzz since it came out in a way that first game, just did not. I mean, that game was good and popular, but I don't think it ever reached the peaks that 2 has so far.
Yeah, it's just, because some people, I don't. There's some people calling people crybabies because they say, hey, it was in their. They said that in the future that you possibly will have to do this, so you should know. I don't know. I feel like it's gone this. If it gone this long without you having to do a PSN login, just don't.
Yeah.
Like I feel like something like that should be weeks. Like weeks or 2 weeks or something like that, and then you do it. But it's been months, so I'm like, dude, people are already invested into this. Like, just put it, just let them be, and like, and their excuse of like, oh, I think like protection or something like that. I'm like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, they're basically saying like, oh, by having this a part of PSN, we can basically govern this a little more. You know, we can make sure that banned players are banned across, and people that are banned can appeal their bans universally and things of that nature. But
And I think that's bullshit.
they've just never had like, it's not like early, you know, mid early 2000s where like Xbox Live is so superior to every other online experience, you know, where it's like, okay, well, if you tied this PC online game into Xbox Live, now you've got all these features built in and things of that nature. It doesn't feel like that. And I think that's the biggest problem, right? It feels like it's not adding anything to a person's experience, at least not directly. So
No, and then like them talking about you said more and about like banning stuff, but like I think this is like secure too, or something like because they can monitor it, but it's like, dude, you're not that secure. Y'all get hacked.
yeah.
Like, so don't like, no, that's not. Yeah, I don't. It to me, it's just it's not right. I feel like you do it from the start or you don't do it. Because like you should have had it from the start, at the beginning that they had to sign up. And I think somebody said they're going to start doing that now because did Ghost of Tsushima do it or some other game?
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is coming out with that stuff like built into it.
Yeah. See, and like this, and that's what I'm saying. You start with that, then like you like just like leave this alone. It's just kind of it's kind of dumb. It's like, man, you have your I think the reasons you really want to do it's not because of that. Really, it's something else. But I mean, that's what I think, and I think it's pretty dumb. I don't definitely agree. I don't agree with it.
I'm definitely interested to see how the numbers of players is affected by this, whether it significantly drops off. Because right now, like on Steam, it's getting review bombed because people feel like that's a, you know, an important way to voice their opinion on a game change like this. And to some extent it is, because you're, you know, if I'm going to Steam to buy the game and I see, oh, it's got a mixed reception, maybe I'm going to click through and see what's going on there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really interesting to see the way that like review bombing has become like an effective means of kind of protest. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how the numbers go. I mean, obviously the unfortunate thing is we can't see potential, you know, we can't see if the numbers go down, obviously that's one thing. If they stay stagnant though, it's like, how many new players could they have gotten if this wasn't a thing that was implemented? Obviously, for me, as a person who previously had a Sony console, I mean, still has a Sony console, I have a PSN ID. It feels like it's just as simple as logging in, and I don't know that that's really going to affect me negatively one way or the other. But, you know, if it does have some kind of back end, you know, either it's harder to log in on a server now, or if it's, you know, in some way affecting my computer's performance, like we see with like Denuvo and stuff like that, then I would, you know, be extremely upset about the way it's affecting my game.
Okay, I'm trying to see. I thought there was some other news because this is the last news. It was something else I saw. You gotta give me a minute.
Sure.
Let's see here. Oh, the Starfield news.
Oh, the expansion stuff?
Yeah, and about it being 60 frames per second now.
Oh, I did not see that. I saw that they're, you know, talking up the expansion coming out this fall, and obviously we're going to see some details of that at the whatchamacallit, the Summer Game Fest Xbox presentation showcase, I guess. So on consoles now it's or
yes,
Xbox Series, I guess.
Xbox Series X. Anyway,
Okay, that's pretty cool. It's nice to see that they're
hold on.
going in that
I
direction.
want to get the article out. I mean,
Okay.
this is a huge deal because it was almost like, I mean, they were choosing not to do it because it was the game wouldn't. It will compromise the game basically, like the look of it, and so people were saying like, oh, the Xbox is not as powerful as we thought, and well, a lot of people who don't like Xbox or whatever, but yeah, but now they showing that can happen, and that like and they had let me find the article. I'm surprised you didn't see that though. Wait a minute, didn't I give it to you on Twitter? It's just the main headline of the visual improvements of Starfield is no longer capped at 30 frames per second for the Series X users. The game will now default to a frame rate target of 40 frames per second. Of course, there are a ton of bug fixes which you can read up on. There's also video here. Oh, okay, blah blah blah. What is it? Where is the damn article?
I've got one here from The Verge. Several other features are coming on the May 15th update, including a more detailed surface map that should make it easier to explore your surroundings, as well as new ship customization tools and gameplay options, such as the ability to access your ship cargo from the player inventory menu.
I must have dreamed this. Did I dream this, Dan?
I don't know. Which part?
The part about it being 60 frames per second, I could have sworn, unless that was fake
right.
news.
No, It's okay. Starting up here, Starfield players on Xbox will no longer deal with the game's 30 frames per second cap as part of an update coming on May 15th. Bethesda will let Xbox Series X players run the game at 60 frames per second. The 60 FPS option comes as part of several new display customization settings. The game will let you choose to prioritize visuals to keep the highest resolution while maintaining full detail for special effects, lighting, and crowds, or choose to prioritize frame rate performance, which will lower the internal resolution and details of special effects, lighting, and crowds. Bethesda recommends choosing the performance mode when running the game at 60 frames per second or above. It also recommends a variable refresh rate display running at 120 frames per second, but you don't need one to run Starfield at a higher frame rate. The only downside is that you might have to deal with the occasional screen tearing, and you'll also get fewer options to customize your display. With a variable refresh rate display, you can pick 30, 40, 60, or uncapped frame rate modes.
I'm happy that's finally there. I wish it was there at the beginning,
Yeah.
And because they gave that talk and everything, I just felt like, man, I just want to know, did they work on that because people were complaining about 60 frames per second, or they was going to come out, they were just going to put it out there later?
Yeah.
I just felt like if they were going to put it out there later, yeah,
that's the problem. I was just thinking about that. Yeah, it's like, why don't you say something about it? But then, it's like, okay, well, why are you putting the game out if it's not ready? So,
because people
it's a lose-lose situation.
It is. It definitely is. But you saying that you chose that is almost implying like there's nothing man, it's just
It's almost like maybe you should have just left it in the oven a little longer and finished this before releasing the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing where it's like we're talking about these unfinished games, But then there's like this whole new level of thing that we are seeing now where it's like, okay, these games, especially like these AAA games where they're coming out not half baked, but like, I don't know, 5/8 baked or something like that.
Exactly.
Where it's like, and I hate to point it out, but it feels like it's mostly coming from Microsoft right now. And, you know, we saw that with Redfall in the same way. I don't think the changes that they made to Redfall made that game significantly better, but I can see a world where it would have been a little more well received had we not seen the more minor issues that people
exactly
were picking at.
The complaints of a game, I feel like, should mostly be on the game itself. Like, it's just that, okay, this ain't mechanically, like, I don't really like the style. I don't like the story. I don't like this concept. Not that, oh, things are broken.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't be you don't want that to be the complaint. Like, it's one thing, because then it's like, dude, y'all didn't finish your game or something like that.
Yeah.
See, it's not because of that stuff. I mean, it could be both, but still, at least with that, there is a that's a little different. I mean, because then you're gonna get some, because that's more opinionated. Broken is broken to me. That's there's no opinion on that. It's broken. Like, if something is wrong, you know. And that shouldn't be the game's downfall. That showed that, man, there's some level of incompetence going on here.
Yeah.
And Darren, with this, it just makes it like, oh, so you could have did 60. It can be done in 60 frames. I mean, even when I spoke to, like, when they first said that, like, it wasn't going to be 60 frames per second, I was just thinking, like, oh, it's still going to look good. And it's just that, I guess it's just going to be too powerful for the Xbox Series X to do it. But then when I saw the graphics, I think I even mentioned, like, I just didn't think the graphics were that great that it couldn't. But darn, maybe the Xbox is not as powerful as I thought, though, because the graphically it is not like super great. This game, Starfield, that I would think it could be 60 frames per second.
Right.
And now I'm saying, like, oh, it could be. I mean, I'm saying it's more than just graphic. I mean, it's more stuff into the game, but still, I'm just thinking, like, you know, it's like, darn, it just couldn't have been done. I said, okay, I just had to take your word for it, because I don't know how to make games. But now look at this. Now I'm saying, like, oh, it could be done. I mean, of course, it could be done in, like, with better, but if you have a VR display, but
yeah,
but still, there is an option for the console that it could have been there, and it kind of sucks now. And it sucks that some of these things that you're saying, like, when you say half baked and stuff, like, people are finishing games, and then you do this stuff. Dude, it's only but so much game I can play. That means you, like, I mean, yeah, some games I love so much, or that I'll play it again. I'll play it again like this. But darn, I want to play some other new game. Like, when you get a game, especially when it first comes out, I just expect, like, hey, I played through this game, especially as like a single player game. I beat it. That's it. The only thing I'm waiting for is DLC. Now you just made, like, the original game better. It's like, say, I don't even get the best experience. and it sucks. I mean, that's why I felt, but with Baldur's Gate, and I mean, it's like you want it, but it also sucks. Like, if you're the person who played through that longest game, is very good beginning, but they've done all these improvements since then. But you're a person who likes playing multiple games. It's like, I don't have time to go back. I said they've done things to make the game so much better now. Say maybe, I guess, come back in years, but then years later, there's another game you probably want to play. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's so, gaming it's changed so much, man. It's changed so much. I mean, such simple times back then. Like, you know,
we didn't know what we had, Dominic.
Yeah, you see, at a game, it came out, that was it. That was it. And the most I thought was going to happen was DLC. I didn't think it was going to be like, oh, this game has something wrong, we're going to fix it, or we're going to make it just so much better. And say, hey, it's going to run so much better now, and do this, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, why you didn't do this from the beginning? Why ain't have this done in the beginning when I can just play this fucking game with the best it could be? So now somebody who hasn't played the game, they waited longer to play it, and they get it for cheaper than what I paid for, and a better experience. They get it cheaper and a better experience. You know how that sucks? You know
it
how
does,
much that
which
sucks?
is why people aren't buying games at release as much anymore, because you've taught them not to. You've trained them not to do that.
Yeah, Destiny. They taught us a lesson.
That was a very hard lesson we learned, Dominic, and I think I have retained that lesson to this day. That is the game that I can give credit to, where I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much never gonna buy games at release anymore, unless it's a guaranteed thing.
Yeah, like Spider-Man or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they changed some things, but it's just different. I mean, it's not to the point. It's the same type of game, and plus the Insomniac, it seems I trust them more.
Yeah.
With this stuff. I mean, not saying there's any problems, but yeah, like games like Destiny or even some of the Bethesda games. I mean, look, I didn't buy Starfield. I got it on Game Pass, so
yeah,
I didn't pay for it. It's a different story. Like if I was going to have to buy Starfield, I think I would have. Yeah, I definitely would have waited. Because I know that, I'm going to wait till the more mods come in.
Mm-hmm.
And, right now, you can't even, unless somebody fixed it. At the beginning, you couldn't really mod the Xbox version because it was something special the mods had to do that they say they can't. It's too much work to get past on Xbox, even though they had the ability to, but they was like, why spend their time on something that they don't use? They got on Steam. See, I would have saw that, and I would have been like, "Oh, I'm buying the Steam version," because that would have told me to buy a Steam version. I was like, "Oh," and I'm still going to wait though. I'm going to wait till things come out. Say, "Oh," some people say, "Hey, this thing don't look that great," so okay, I'll wait till a patch come out now. I would have waited. I would have definitely waited for that. Destiny. Yep, it definitely taught us a lesson. It definitely taught us a lesson on that. But I mean, that's good that Starfield is coming out, and it does. See, this does tell you that okay, some of these games, they could work, they can look better.
Yeah,
these people aren't finishing.
I gotta say, it's gonna be extremely interesting if this expansion comes out this fall and we see a complete change in sentiment like we do for Cyberpunk. Yeah. I don't know if I could quite see a world like that. I mean, I feel like Bethesda is what Bethesda is, and people have made their opinions about that. So even, more content from that same team, I think the difference there is it's pretty much what we expected. Whereas Cyberpunk was a huge disappointment for people that expected a lot more out of CD Projekt Red,
Yeah.
So, but I have hopes that, that content at least comes out and breathes some new life into that game. I want it to be good. So, all right, Dominic, did you see anything else news-wise?
Let me see here. Did I see anything else? Let's see. I know some people are angry with 2K24 because they removed some collector level reward.
Oh, I saw something
Kobe
on
Bryant
that. Yeah.
At the last second, sparking fan outcry. I don't know the details of that, but I'm sorry for you guys.
Don't buy games at launch. Don't buy expensive versions of games ever.
Yeah. Remedy shares development updates for Control 2, Max Payne 1 and 2 remake.
I saw there was a lot of kind of discourse around the fact that Alan Wake 2 had not made much money this past quarter. But I don't know. That's an unfortunate thing because it feels like that game did come out in a state that was perfectly fine. I don't recall a lot of technical, bug nonsense people talking about. And I recall a lot of people being extremely satisfied with that game and that story. So it's sad to see something like that not be rewarded, when we see all these other games that are selling millions and kind of coming out in a inferior state, I guess.
I know there's a Batman Arkham Shadow game announced from the MetaQuest 3.
Yeah, it's a VR
that's coming out this year. From the guys who did Iron Man VR, which I think was pretty damn good.
Yeah. I think that was one of the more... I'm surprised. I guess I don't know if I'm surprised, but I think that studio is owned by Sony now. Or no, they're owned by Meta now. So I guess that makes sense.
And it just sucks that it's just MetaQuest 3. I mean, well, at least you get the graphics, I guess, that you want.
Yeah, the MetaQuest 2 is officially $150 now or something. They dropped the price.
They really did.
And it's very tempting because then you see it with a gift card for the store or something like that. Or no, I think it's $200 now. But I'm seeing it a lot with a $50 gift card or $20.
I need to get back and play some games because I really just use it to watch movies now.
Yeah.
I don't even use two controllers because I just use one. All I need is one for a remote.
Yeah.
It always comes up saying your left controller is disconnected. I said, yeah, it is. I don't need two batteries.
I haven't put batteries in there.
Yeah. Because I was looking at some games because now they finally remember that game you said that was really fun. That was kind of it was a battle royale. Was it called Operation One or something? One?
Yeah, something One.
Playground One. I forget what it's called. But that's free to play now, and I was like, oh, now I can actually try it because you had to pay for it before.
Right.
So I'm and there's some other games up there coming. Yeah, so I think I might want to get home and look, it's funny because I played that game it kind of reminds me of Homeworld, and Homeworld is coming to the Quest.
Interesting.
And I was looking at the trailer for it in the Quest, and I was like, yeah, this is what I thought when I was playing that game. I forgot what it's called. I said, yeah, it is kind of like Homeworld, and it does. I was like, yep, Homeworld. I guess they saw that, and it's like, yeah, just get our game up there. And that seems it's pretty cool.
Definitely. All right, Dominic, with that then, we'll get into new releases, which we don't have many of either. We have Sea of Thieves finally coming out on the PS5, so you can get your cross-pirate on. And Endless Ocean Luminous on the Nintendo Switch.
Endless Ocean, is that just a reselling of a old game?
No, Luminous is a new one, I believe.
That's the game that's similar to the other Ocean game that came out. Yeah, Luminous came out on the Wii, right? And then now they got this is the special. Yeah, this is a new special, new sequel one. People were excited for that they actually did this. Is this gonna get reviews?
The first thing I see is IGN's review, which is a 4 out of 10.
Woo!
So
GameSpot got 3 out of 10.
Ooh, really? Yeah. IGN says boring in multiplayer and frustrating alone. Endless Ocean Luminous is tedious, aggravating slog that feels endless in all the wrong ways. Way to go, Logan Plant.
What's the other game called, Daniel, that I played? That was you in an ocean.
Abzu? Is that the one you played, or is it the other one?
No. Not the, I know the Abzu is. Yeah, but it's not that one. It's the one where you're in first person.
Yeah.
And you,
I think I always get those confused.
They had that expansion. They had a nice expansion, the Frozen something.
What is that game? I can't believe it didn't come up. Absolute depth. It's not Aquaria. Subnautica, yes. There it is.
Yeah, because I was comparing this to Subnautica, so I'm thinking you just need to stay with Subnautica, man. Is there a Subnautica for the Switch?
That's a good question. Subnautica.
Yes, it is.
I wonder how
and
that
it's
runs on the Switch.
and it's $14.99 right now.
I guess that game's not too power hungry, right? So,
I mean, I'm looking at the graphics from these screenshots.
I'm looking at the screenshots, and they look
they really
pretty.
are. They are switchy.
Yeah,
they are switchy graphics.
That is.
I mean, which is fine as long as it runs good. I think it's fine. Just compared to, the other systems, it's pretty below average. But I just feel like you should just get this game.
Yeah, especially $14.99 for a game that is good. So, yeah, that's unfortunate that did. And
it was $30. It was originally $30. It wasn't even It wasn't even a $50 game, and I think that probably deserved it.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yep.
God damn it, Nintendo! Why can't you bring your games down, man? Damn. They don't care about the little guy.
Nope. That's what I'm talking about. Monopolies, Dominic. All right. Yeah, so that is it. Dominic, you got anything else for the people before we get out of here?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast.
Abzu was $20.
Oh.
On
I feel
Switch.
like I've heard good things about Abzu too. So at least there's options. I mean, unfortunately, Endless Ocean also had like the multiplayer stuff.
Price.
I think that was supposed to be like a big part of it. But like,
and how much is Luminous? 60?
I can't imagine it would be 60, right? Like they wouldn't do that. It's 50.
50? Good God.
Yeah. So, okay, maybe they would almost do that. I mean, those are older games, obviously, but yeah, if this just isn't good, then it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how old those games are. If they hold up much better.
Yeah, exactly.
So. All right, back to it. Twitter, Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can check us out there. Has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as all the audio places, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube Music, Amazon, Spotify, all those places. And until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see you.